To grow a garden like this, I need to use a lot of compost. But what ingredients should you add to your compost? The correct answer is the ones you can get. I try to make compost all season long, whether I'm using the chickens to make compost or doing the 18-day composting method. So today we're going to be making some compost with the 18-day method. I got some different ingredients lined up here to fill this wire cage. To get some nice hot compost, we're still going to need the browns and the greens, so we have both those. Chip drop came through, so I have plenty of wood chips, and the pile's heating up right now, so a lot of this is cooked. Had a storm come through, knocked down a big limb off my maple tree. Took the shredder, shredded it up, so this is more green than brown, but it's still a good carbon source. Bunch of bills. Gonna go ahead and compost those. And then a big barrel of comfrey and various garden weeds. Still got a little bit of straw left over here, as well as more of the wood chips from the maple tree. The 18-day method, we're trying to fill this up as much as we can. Gonna use up everything we got. So this one here, I ended up filling up to about right here. You can see where it's at now. This thing was riding at about $1.70 when I flipped her. And with this method, we do the first flip after 4 days. Make the pile, wait 4 days, give her a flip, and then every 2 days till we hit day 18. Or if it's still hot, I'll keep flipping it. Got our water source. We're gonna go ahead and prime the earth right now with a little bit of water in here. Water is gonna be very important to this process. Start out here with some of the chip drop wood chips. A lot of steam coming off these. Gonna make a nice layer on the ground. Not too crazy, just a couple inches thick. Then I'm gonna follow it up with a little bit of the chipped up maple. And then get that nice and moist. That's our carbon layer. Go ahead, take some of this comfrey. Didn't shred it up, not gonna matter. Gets really hot in here. 170 degrees is gonna take care of this. Take some more of the maple. It's alternating greens and browns, thin layers, not thick layers. I see some people do some really thick layers like this. Yeah, that's gonna work, but the thin layers work better. Some more arborist wood chips, shredded maple. That's our browns. Let's add some more greens in there, some more comfrey. Comfrey gives you really hot compost. I never like to go too far without hosing everything down. I want this to be very moist. When your compost gets up to 170 degrees, it burns off a lot of moisture. Let's add some of this spoiled hay while we're here. It's been sitting outside for a while now, which is good. Let's get rid of some of that nasty stuff in here, because you know when they go to harvest this, they do spray it with stuff like Roundup to terminate it. We don't want that in our gardens. So the fungi come in and they take care of that. Here's where we're at. Nice start. Got a lot of work left to do. If you watched my previous video on the topic of 18-day composting, I was making these straight on the ground. I decided to give the 2x4 welded wire a try since I do have plenty left over. It's about 10 feet of wire here to make a 3 to 4 foot opening on the top. And that's a really good size because all that material stacked on there will get really hot. The bigger the pile, the hotter it's gonna get. I got some leftover chips from the food I ate last night. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these chips in here and the paper bag. Got some rice I forgot to put in the fridge. Let's go ahead and start throwing some of the bills in there. You want how much money from me? I don't think so. Not today. Just had my last monarch hatch out of this cage, so I'm gonna go ahead and take what's left here, dump that in as well. One of the things I'm missing today that I usually always use when I do this is grass clippings. I used all my grass clippings in the pile next to this one. I like using chicken manure, all the stuff below the chicken roosting area. I stack wood chips, and as they manure it, I stack more till we got a lasagna made. I take that and put it in the compost. I'm gonna wait till that lasagna gets a little bit taller before I do that. All right, we're about halfway there, but I did run out of the wood chips, so we're gonna take a ride. And I wanna show you just how hot this wood chip pile is. We got it pretty high up here. I did not run out of materials, but I did run out of motivation. So if you're making compost and you run out of materials, don't feel bad. As long as you get somewhat decent size of a pile, you're gonna have some compost. I'm gonna finish this off by taking some of the brown materials and putting it pretty thick on top here. This is gonna be our carbon cap. It's gonna help trap some of that moisture in here. Now you can also take something like a plastic tarp and put it here, but I don't have one available, so I'm just using the carbon source. Let's keep it simple. What you have to realize when you're making compost, you really can't go wrong. Even if you just took a bunch of organic materials and just stacked them in a pile, they'll eventually break down and turn into compost. This is just gonna make it go a little bit faster. Just remember, use materials you have to make compost. This stuff is definitely worth the effort. This is gonna make your garden grow the best. Thanks for watching.